So I've got this updated character keeper. It's actually a totally new URL. And let me see if I can remember the basic changes. I added more spots on the Glory Doom track just because people eventually are going to fill that with Doom. That won't be relevant here. I added a rule that when you fill one column of moods or mark 5 moods overall, you're taken out. So that's something to keep track of. And then you clear all your moods, but you are helpless,
right.
Defeated. What else? I added soothe-like moves to each playbook, but in the last playtest, people and their moves for like clearing the whole party's moods, or at least all in one column for everybody who participates. But then people were missing the move to actually just soothe one person in a quiet moment and not make a big deal of it. And so I've put that back in. I mean, I've kept it for you all, in addition to these playbook specific moves. I would like to do the same for influence, but for now we still have the influence move. What else? Something that I haven't playtested yet is I've given each playbook a couple essential questions that are at the very top, and a version of that question for when you choose your friends over your own excellence, basically add a heart die. Oh, and when you hearten somebody, when you roll to try to improve their move, regardless of the result, you reduce a heart die after doing that. So now there's a cost to it. You can't just always be improving somebody's moves for free, basically. And I would like to take that essential question and make it so that basically whenever you pursue your own excellence over friends, you add a glory die. So this question is always in play. Something that has not really been in play much are the deaths. They haven't, I mean, they matter when you besiege the forces, but it's not like there's a sense of that increasing and decreasing. So I'm going to see how that goes and, you know, just see if that comes into play at all. I think that's everything. When last we met, you all were in a cave under the Temple of Kifrit, killing scorpion people. Because you killed both emissaries, they still think they're attacking in 5 days, which means they're also still like making more of a home in Alara's village and making it more scorpionish and less personish. And that's a problem, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
But when they do come to the city, they're going to come in force and they're going to try to destroy the walls and kill lots of people. But Rook has allowed that, the god of death has allowed that maybe this won't happen, that maybe you'll stop it, in which case Rook will be disappointed, but will look for other ways to cause mass death. So we said that you got out of that underground area and got back to your caravanserai where you're hanging out. The City Watch is still looking for you, but you've managed to keep a low profile despite the duel at the Temple of Kifrit right after a service. And I think we'll just have to say that Zal was called away to the Boar clan. And maybe to try to help stop the Scorpion people. But maybe just to keep the scorpion people out of the forest and not help the city. I think certainly if the boars can find any way to stick it to the city, they will. So where are you now? What are you all doing?
It sounds like two main things we might want to focus on are taking care of Alara's town, and or now there's a couple extra days warning folks in the city that uh, stuff is coming. What do you
If
think?
they'll listen to you, I mean, they're
Yeah.
you're just a couple of folks.
Although maybe Solon could impersonate somebody else that they would listen to.
That's right. You still look like Nulos.
Yeah, Nelos.
Yeah. We could say, because it's between sessions, that wore off.
Mm-hmm.
If you want.
Yeah, I think that'll be good.
Okay. So yeah.
I think Alara mostly wants to go fight scorpion people in her town, but somebody might be able to persuade her to alert the city. But
yeah, town sounds like a good. I think the city may not take our word for it, especially if there are people in high places who are doing machinations and stuff. So,
it sure seems like it.
How are you going to get there? Mary, you have a mount, right?
Oh yeah, I have a mount. I picked a mount.
Yes.
I was thinking it could be like a wingless griffin type creature, like lion, eagle combo.
Tell me more about this. Lion head or lion body?
I think lion body, eagle head.
Was it like a baby sphinx?
Yeah, or maybe a baby griffin. I don't know.
I like the idea of the lion head and the lion body and the eagle head. That's nice. Yeah. You writing this?
The etymology of sphinx today, by the way, completely unrelated. It has the same root word as sphincter because the sphinx strangled people to kill them. So I
knew that once.
They're the strangler. I'm like, oh, that's disgusting and awesome. Love it. Sorry, I total sidetrack.
Okay. That's why I was curious. So yeah, the idea of you writing this lion-bodied thing, it just seems very He-Man. Like I love it. Like feathers down to the shoulders.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. That's so good. Okay. And what's your mount's name?
Aya.
Aya. Okay. All right. So you've got Aya. We'll need a horse, I think, for Solon, the Solon ride.
Yeah.
Okay. I think that you could talk the caravan guy into lending you a horse.
Yeah, you can do that. Do I have to make a test for that, or?
I think it's not going to be interesting if you don't get the horse. So we'll just say you have a horse.
I'll pay you back.
Although I suppose you could summon some sort of mount.
True.
I don't know why there isn't a spell for that. That would be awesome. Summon creature, but that could get a little out of hand. I mean, maybe that's what sorcery's supposed to do. Like, okay. So you have a horse and you have Aya, and for you two, I think it'll take 2 days to get to the city.
Mm-hmm.
It would take an armed company of scorpion people 3 days, but that's moving at military speed. North along the coastline, in this narrow band of trees and grassland between the rocky coast and the desert, up to the area around your village where it's that band widens out and becomes quite verdant and lovely. with scattered forest that gives way to farmland. And I think the first sign of the village you see is smoke rising from the tree line. And even before you get to the village, the farmhouses that are loosely clustered around the village proper, amid acres of, what would it be? Lentils, grains, rice. Those farmhouses are burned out husks, and a lot of the farmland has been torched also. But those fires are out now. They're not smoking now. What do you do? You're still sort of in the farmland area.
You know the area better than I do. What's a good approach?
Well, it looks like they're not in any of these outlying areas. So let's see. We need a way to come up on them that they're not going to see us coming.
I think as you're passing one of these burned out farmhouses, you hear Owen's voice say, "Wait, please."
Alara will stop suddenly and not say anything.
A squawk. A woman comes out tentatively from the wreckage of the farmhouse. She's definitely seen better days. She's got an older man and a young girl with her, and she says, "Are you from the city?"
We came from there, but I grew up in the village here.
Oh,
It's been years since I've been back, but
I don't recognize you. I thought I knew everyone from the village. She says, I'm Ellie, and I want to say, I think maybe you recognize her. She's much changed. She's much older. You've been a long time, I think.
yeah.
And of course, she's much diminished from her happy, prosperous days before. And she doesn't recognize you at all. Because I think you were a kid when you left, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. But
Okay. But she says, I'm Ellie. I'm a farmer. Are you the vanguard of the army?
We are the army.
And she's crestfallen. She's disappointment. Lower her eyes. Oh. Well, good luck, I guess.
how many of the people from the village are still left alive? Do they have people they captured, or?
She says, most fled to the forest.
That's good.
You might still be able to find them, but the village roused a home guard as well as they could, and those stayed and fought. Their spouses and children and elderly went to the forest, and whoever stayed to fight is either dead or captured. I don't know. I came back here from the forest to try to put things back together, but there's not much left. I'm not sure what they're doing in the village, but I think it won't be long before they sweep the forest for the refugees.
Yeah, I mean their plan is to move on the city from here. This is a temporary base for them,
Oh,
but
well, that might be good for us. Although, of course, if the city falls, then we've got we've got no anchor here.
yeah.
We want to turn
But
this entire area into desert.
And this new fear comes into her eyes. Is that even possible? So, yeah, sorry, go ahead.
no, I was gonna say if it's Kifrit the god that yeah, if Kifrit wants it, then it is possible, but
Oh, okay. What gods do you have on your side?
We don't need the help of gods.
Well,
We have
one of you
strong
is.
forces on our side.
She looks uncertain. She's okay. The two of you. That's all right. Well, let me know if I can help. I I was I was I was thinking of going back to the forest soon with whatever I could salvage from here.
yeah, that might be best. I mean, did you see the scorpion people when they came in? Like
Yes. Yes.
about how many?
50 to 100, I'm not sure. A lot. They
That's what I feared.
crawl just over everything, just on top of houses, jumping incredibly far. It's really horrifying.
Did it seem like they have a leader or a priest that they follow?
Yes, there's one who's maybe twice as big as the rest of them. A, an enormous monster with just two large claws for hands, and everything he said they seemed to do immediately.
Hmm.
And then there was another who I didn't see directly, who was carried in some sort of box, and I I'm not sure what that is, but they were talking to someone inside there. So I think there's someone in there.
You didn't get a look at them.
No, no, they didn't come out of the box while I was there, but then I had to flee.
You didn't see any humans traveling with them, did you?
Yes, yes, there were a few.
Hmm.
They were mostly, when they swept in, they were riding on the backs of some of the scorpion people. I'm sure they can't keep up. They were, they seemed totally comfortable in their presence.
People from the city.
Hmm. The forest is probably the best place for you for now.
She nods. She quickly gathers some bowls and jugs, amphora, and takes her family, and they scoot out westward. The village is like northeast of here.
It sounds like they might be allied with the lizard people that we worked for earlier. They were being carried around in the box.
Mm.
There was a litter, yeah, a palanquin that the priestess was in. Hard to say if this is the same thing.
Yeah. Can I do some occult research and see if I know
Mhm.
anything about this this monster of a guy?
Yeah.
That's just rolling 2, right?
Plus whatever. Yeah, you don't have any glory dice to spend, so 2 plus any curses you want to invoke.
I'll just go for the 2 right now. See what happens. That's an 11.
Oh, hey, great. So get to ask 2 questions.
I guess what hidden forces are at work there, first off?
Yeah, the box is based on research that you recall. The box is probably a sacred object for the Scorpion people, a kind of sarcophagus slash ark that contains the presence of Kifrit, and could potentially be incarnated, but that is a rare thing, seems very costly in some way, and is can't happen for nothing, basically.
What are people missing here? What are others missing here?
That's a good question. I
guess what might the villagers have missed?
The lizard people don't have any special affection for the scorpion people. The villagers are likely to lump them all in together. I'll try to think of something else. That I can't think of anything, but if I think of anything, I'll
okay, cool.
Add it.
So what do you think, Alara?
I mean, that sounds like a target we could go after because it's probably going to demoralize them if nothing else, and if it's probably part of their plan to bring the desert to everything.
Yeah, and I'm all about preventing gods from entering.
And yeah, I feel like waiting until twilight or dark is probably our best chance to surprise them.
Colder. Curl up a little bit.
Yeah. I was just thinking they wouldn't see us coming, and yeah.
I am looking up whether scorpions are nocturnal.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, unfortunately.
Most scorpions are nocturnal or crepuscular. So
oh yeah, that would be the wrong time then.
Although they are worshippers of the sun, so
who knows?
Yeah, I'll say that they're actually active in the daytime because of the whole sun thing. They don't have to be like real scorpions. This village that you haven't seen in years was wonderful and idyllic. It had a rather modest temple, let's say temple, that was administered by a priest who was always very friendly with everybody. It was a kind of ecumenical temple that had rituals for different gods on different days. There was a wonderful big central gathering hall where people would come for communal meals. The kitchen staff was well loved, and it was a place of sharing stories and catching up with people. There were lovely little homes, nothing big, mud huts really, but warm and friendly. And they were simple, but they were clean and hospitable. There was a blacksmith, there was a fishmonger. There were all these little cottage industries that basically set up shop right out in front of their own houses. You used to run in the street with a ball with your friends. Of course, you were there when the first time that changed, but the village was always in your mind. I'm just setting that all up so that when you come to it, you can see how it is now. What's your move? Or what do you do?
So I think we probably want to get set up so we can head towards the sort of village center when it comes twilight, because that's probably where at least some of them are congregating. And hopefully where the leadership is, because if we can finish them off, that's going to be better than trying to kill 50 to 100 scorpion people one by one.
Right. Okay. You come up to the edge of the village from the nearest tree line, and yeah, the huts, the houses are demolished, the roofs are all caved in. There are scorpion people scuttling in their weird staccato way over all of these things. The few roofs that are still standing have scorpion people crawling on top of them. There is sand that has blown in from the east that is just mounded in just hillocks on the east side of these buildings. A few of the huts are still burning. The temple is smoking. That's where most of the smoke is coming from. Its roof has collapsed. It wasn't exactly made of marble in the first place. And that seems to be a bivouac for scorpion people who seem completely untroubled by the wreckage piled up. They're sleeping on top of it or in the spaces around it. They're so mobile, they don't really care. The community center, the communal eating place, the roof is still mostly intact and the walls are still mostly intact. It collapsed in a couple of places. And that the sort of smaller outbuildings connected to it are, some of those are smoking, but that building itself, the big great hall underneath that roof, is still intact. And yeah, there's mud brick and wood just strewn all over the place. You can see there are a few bodies and some, you're too far away to see exactly, but some seem to have died in combat, some seem to have died in fires. But the sarcophagus arc is not visible, and you don't see this big bruiser with the two claw hands that she was talking about. And yeah, and it's just crawling with scorpion people. There's just all over there, at least 50.
We still have our amulets from last time, right? The amulets of Kifrit
Definitely.
in the temple. Oof.
You got one with a ring and a couple with swords,
Yeah.
cross swords.
Do we see any of the humans that came with them?
Oh, yeah, I think you see two. They are standing outside the community center talking to a couple scorpion people. I
Are they
think they're, yeah, go ahead.
or
Sorry.
is there anything that would, are they dressed any different, or do we see they're wearing amulets, or is there anything that would differentiate them from just a guy?
They're wearing white tunics and robes. I think, let's see, something to distinguish them. I think they each have a yellow gold circlet on their heads, and the tunics and robes seem to be of a fine quality, with embroidered hems in golden thread. They both got shaved heads, like close cropped heads, with these circlets sitting on them, and I think that they are crouched down low, drawing with a stick in the dirt.
What do you think?
There's a lot of them.
Yeah.
And there's only two of us.
Yeah, the sailor is really the one with the sneaky moves.
There are two guys with robes though. Can we wait for them to leave the scorpions and maybe give them the old bunk on the head and switch clothes?
Yeah, might be worth a plan.
It's not my forte necessarily or at all. But
I don't know.
It might still require a metamorphosis spell from you to not have the glowing eyes. I think if you do really well in the metamorphosis, we could say that it changes Alara too, if Alara's up for that.
Either that or we pretend to be people from the city with a message and use our amulets for passage.
Yeah. I mean, we tell them the truth that the gates won't be open for them when they come in 5 days.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right, because it was Nulis's job and he wasn't there for the meeting. That was you, right?
I should probably take my mask off so we can do whatever we're gonna do here.
Yeah.
You've still got the eyes, right? One
We got the
red,
eyes.
one green. Yeah, okay.
So pretend to be messengers from the city. Is that our plan?
I'm cool with that.
Are you bringing Aya with you?
Ooh.
Oh.
You tying what is are Aya's pronouns there?
I think they, them.
Are you tying them up by the trees, trying to keep them from playing with you?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, I think they're not happy with that.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. We never talked about how you got Aya, like in the fiction.
Yeah, I'm not sure what makes sense.
I think you would have probably met Aya before this adventure started on your travels and left a good impression, and maybe Aya came and found you.
Yeah.
much to the
Yeah.
distress of the caravan guide and all of his people.
And
But-
all their animals.
All their animals, the camels and the horses going crazy. Yeah. Because this lion with a giant eagle head showed up. And so, yeah, I think that's good. And I think Aya went to some trouble to find you. And now, although you told me if Aya actually talks, but I'm just thinking just through wordless
Yeah, I think
acts,
wordless, yeah.
yeah, it shows their devotion to you and is so glad to have finally found you. So now you leaving Aya behind, you know, they're not happy with that.
Is there some task we can put them to, like make them feel useful or that they're helping while still staying out of danger?
And if you don't, can you keep AF from calling after you?
Yeah, I don't know if there's anything like we can have a watch for and alert us. Maybe even if it's just more people coming in or activity or something.
That's good.
Yeah. And they can certainly just make noise and alert us or charge in or.
So you're not, are you tying Aya up then, or are you leaving them untied to do this?
I think leaving
job?
them untied to watch our backs. And
I think the horse is very happy about that. The horse is happy to be tied up by the tree line, and I'm picturing a very serviceable but skittish bay horse who was really not looking forward to being tied up next to Aya.
Yeah.
So okay, so you're walking up to these people outside the community center?
Maybe run up to them. Show our urgency.
Yeah. With the amulets on.
Maybe we should both have swords, probably. I don't know what they mean, so it seems like
swords on the amulet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're going with both of you having the sword on the back of the amulet, or?
I guess so.
The one you got from Nilus had the ring on the back, but
yeah, it feels like we should be sword dudes instead of.
Okay. I'm reading your additional details, Solon. It says dark red black waves of hair that move in a wind that is not there. Not weird at all.
Nope, not weird at all.
You come running in through the outer buildings of the town, such as they are now. Scorpions all over the place, scuttle in surprise, and back up at first, and then come up around you on the sides and behind you in waves, and are clacking alarmedly. The two scorpion people that are standing with the two humans outside the community center, they look up at the sound, and they see you, and they immediately draw their swords. They're just watching, but they're alarmed and wary, and they look at you, and the two humans stand up. The humans are not armed, but they stand up immediately and kind of back up a little bit toward the wall of the community center. And one of the scorpion people who was with them says, "That's far enough." When you get about 40 feet away,
really
state your business.
Bend over, put my head down, hands on my knees, kind of like exaggerated panting. Just like, hang on just a second. So it's a long trek through the desert or forest or wherever we came from.
We have news from Urid. We need to speak to the priest.
Nullis has betrayed us. Nullis has betrayed us. The gates won't be open.
Show your credentials. Who the hell are you?
I'm a little sword guy.
So one of the scorpion people comes up very fast and is maybe let's say 4 feet away from you, and is leaning in with this bristling chitinous face, and looks at your amulet, and says, "All right, now, slowly again. You're from the Urud cult.
We're from the
Yeah, we're
temple.
from the temple.
Where are our emissaries? The
They've
envoys we
betrayed
sent.
us. They've taken gold over Kifrit. They've
What?
decided to go the yellow of gold instead of the yellow of the sun.
A scorpion person? Tempted by
No, the humans. The
Human.
scorpion people are dead.
dead?
Yeah.
Nulos's people killed them.
They trapped them in the caves and killed them.
Tikrit and Efkut are dead.
We barely
What
made it out
evidence
with
do you
our
have of
lives.
this? How do I know to believe you? I've never seen you or heard of you before. You've got the amulets, but what evidence do you have that they're dead?
They're not here. They would have made it much sooner than we would have.
Do I have that dagger I took off one of them?
You certainly do.
I,
You are also, I should say, unless you want to retcon this, covered in blue blood.
Yeah, I'm fine with still being covered in blue blood.
They were slain before our eyes.
So you've got the dagger, for sure, but you're also covered in scorpion blood, and this makes them look at you very mistrustfully. What do you do?
I produce the dagger and give it handle first. This was one of theirs.
Yes, that's Efkut's. I recognize it. Took it off of that thing there, and points to a body half, covered in like a cloth, sort of half covered.
They didn't
Yeah.
have anything else on them. I don't know if they were supposed to bring a message, on a written message or verbal or what, beyond the plan that now the gates won't be open in 3 days or at all.
They didn't have their amulets with them?
They did.
Oh, they have the amulets, but nothing
Yeah,
else.
we had to
They have
fight our
nothing
way out.
else.
So we didn't have time to get them.
They were killed in the temple, so we left the amulets there, like there.
Well, that's proper. Yes, that's good. They're now, everybody's buzzing, and I think like literally that's like a low buzzing sound. And the 2 humans come up, and they say, "We're from Urud, the advance party. I don't remember you two in any of the meetings with your eyes and hair, and you rather macabrely daubed in blood of our allies. How did I miss you at the strategy meetings?"
We're recent initiates. The high priest suspected Nulos and wanted more people who were loyal to them brought on.
And did you have these strange markings of yours, your glowing eyes and your covered in scorpion blood body, when you were initiated?
I was taken from a cabal of wizards. They raised me and disfigured me, and I was rescued by the members of the temple. I can't imagine. I can't tell you the horrors I had to endure. But now that I'm bathed in the light of Kifrit, everything is clearer again. But I remain disfigured.
A sad story, friend.
Well, it's a happy story now because I'm no longer with them.
And you?
This is from trying to defend our people and the Chihir and Nifrit. I was there when Nulos and his guards attacked.
Right in her arms.
So you were so heartbroken you couldn't wash off this blood before coming out
No,
to
I
us.
needed to come here to tell you
Immediately.
because they were supposed to be coming here as soon as possible, and they're not able to bring you a message, so we needed to come bring you a message.
Okay. I broadened the influence move so that if you don't have a relationship with somebody, you can just roll 2d6 plus glory and curses.
Mm.
One of you make an influence move. The other can hearten it if you want. To sell this story. I mean, you're doing a great job, but let's see how
I'll make a move.
it
That's
works.
fine.
Okay. Are you
I'll
going
throw
to mark a
out
curse?
there. Yeah, why
Mhm.
not? There we go. Mark the curse. I'll figure out what that is later. So 2d6
Mhm.
plus a 10. That is an 11.
Great. Let's see. 11, full success. All right, they believe you. They buy it. It's the poor waif rescued from a cabal of wizards and the valiant warrior, though recently recruited, who so overcome by the battle, still daubed in blood. And one of the two humans steps back away from you and says in a loud voice to the scorpion people all around, "These are friends. They've risked much to come here. We will show them our hospitality. They bring an alarming message. We will have to confer about this with the leadership. We'll let you all know what we decide." And the two scorpion people and the two humans gather around with you and they say, let's convene a meeting, a strategy council, a war council. Let's come inside.
Yes.
And like the humans walk through the door, the scorpions kind of scuttle over part of the wall through a break in the wall, and they all come in, and you know the place is devastated. There have been fires just lit on the ground. The long tables that were there are just smashed and pushed against the walls. The kitchen looks like it's completely vandalized. There was, there is a fire pit built into the floor where a long fire used to burn, and the wood from that has just been taken and used to build small fires around the place. And sitting, so placed near the far right corner is this gigantic polished wooden box that has a sort of high relief scorpion carved in the heavy lid on top, with a sun disk over its little head. And the sun disk is made of like beaten yellow gold, and the whole thing is ornamented in red paint and gems and gold leaf. And you can see it's got places where heavy poles go through to carry it, but those poles are shipped out now. And there's probably, I want to say 8 scorpion people around here, all in various places. But in the middle of the room is this gigantic scorpion person with a huge Vin Diesel body, but easily 8 feet tall, with these enormous claws that are sort of pale yellow of scorpions with coming to a sort of a pigmented red in the tips and pigmented red in the little toe points and the scorpion sting, and just sort of the humanoid body kind of leaning back against the scorpion body, forming his own throne with the tail kind of curled up behind his back and kind of leaning back on the tail, and a big head that the extra size is only exaggerated scorpionness of it, because the eyes are still the same size as regular scorpion eyes, these little beady things, kind of like just tiny balls placed there, and this big lipless mouth, big crag, it's lolling open and is like eating a big hunk of meat. People are roasting snakes over the various fires, and sees this group of people come in, people and scorpion people, and sort of twists his big head around. What's going on now? What do you do?
Alara, when we get in, pauses for a moment to look around and take in the devastation and how different it is from what she remembers. And yeah, after a moment, she tells the scorpion guy, we have a urgent message from the city.
I think you probably want to take a mood for everything that's going on.
Yeah. I'm going to go with horrified.
Sounds appropriate. And one of the two humans with the gold circlets says, these are friends from the cult in the city. I'm sorry, I didn't catch your names.
Solon.
Solon.
Alara.
Solon and Alara from the city cult. Please tell the Emperor your news.
And we relate the story.
And I think there's that the 8 scorpions who are in there now, which includes the 2 that came in with you, some of them are arrayed between you and the Emperor, keeping you from getting too close. And go ahead.
Out of arm's reach.
Out of arm's reach, yes. You could work it out so you get within arm's reach. There was a whole movie about that, Hero. I don't know if you saw it. It's great Chinese movie.
Yeah.
Anyway, no spoilers, but the Emperor takes us all in, and given who you came in with, treats it with gravity consideration. Says, humans, gold, such a boring story, but I hear it all the time.
It's disappointing.
None of you have any courage, your convictions. None of you really, really want to see Kifrit come in and blow all this away. It's like he's kind of giving you and the other 2 humans a temporary exclusion from this sweeping statement. It says, so the gates won't be open, and our 2 envoys aren't coming back.
As if they bolster their defenses.
Right.
I have a
yes?
gift. Nullus betrayed us, and although we had to fight our way out, I did manage to slay him in the process, and I hand him over the. I guess I give it to one of the scorpion guys to give to him. Like this was Nullus's amulet, and I present the traitor's amulet to you as a gift.
He sort of bends forward a little, looks at it as the other scorpion person brings it up, you know, like this. And now that he's not just reclining on his little hunched legs and tail, he seems even bigger, you know, because his legs have raised his body off the ground. And he says, "Give it to the god." And that scorpion person immediately over to the sarcophagus and leans in and whispers something, seems to be waiting for a reply, and then shifts open just a little segment of wood and throws this thing in and quickly shuts it again. So it doesn't take the big lid off, but just this little sliding panel. And you see a brief flash of yellow light before the thing closes.
That was actually Nollis's amulet, right? Yeah. Okay. Was I lying? I don't think I was lying.
You certainly got Nollis's amulet, right? From the
Yeah.
whole duel thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the emperor says, I think we should just move faster, mobilize, get out there, surprise them. They want us, expect us in 5 days. We'll be there in 2 day and a half. We don't tire. What do you do? This has caused some consternation, like the two people and the scorpion people are kind of whispering to each other.
How much more lying can we get away with?
It seems like he's still considering it too. It's like,
yeah,
sort of, he's almost thinking out loud. I think one scorpion person comes up to him and says, "My lord, my liege, are you sure that we can do that? That we're still replenishing our resources." And he sort of just reaches out with his big claw and just grabs him, and I think brings him in and bites his head off, and the whole body twitches, and he throws it aside. And now that he's thrown it off to his left, you see there's a few scorpion bodies piled in the corner, very unceremoniously. It's yeah,
sounds like
it's a bit of a Conan scene.
What do you think? So we want them not to attack the city somehow.
Yeah.
I feel like part of the purpose of attacking the city is maybe to get sacrifices or something to help open this casket or whatever. Or enough gold or something.
Yeah, something to enable Kifrit.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Can we use his rashness against him somehow? Are the humans still there, or is it just
no, the humans are there? Unless you want them to leave, you've got a lot of influence at the moment.
Yeah, let's do this. I think I lean as close as I can without getting eaten, and kind of like pointedly look at the two priests and say, would it be possible to speak with you without the presence of other humans? Well, what the news I have is for scorpion ears only.
It immediately, Big Claw gestures out, and the two scorpion people that came in with the humans back them out through the door, and just shove them just very unceremoniously, and then come back in.
My emperor, the treachery may extend beyond Nullus and whatever conspirators he might have immediately. It's my understanding from their boasts as they slayed our kindred in the caves that they may have human spies in the camp here, or perhaps throughout the temple. I don't know how many they have swayed. It's possible that they are attempting to lure you into a trap. Maybe, I don't know how they would because of your greatness, of course. But I believe their intention may be to draw you in and somehow weaken your numbers or pick you off and claim Kifrit for themselves instead of you.
Okay, this should be an influence also, I think.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, I'm gonna use another. Throw another curse on there.
For sure. Yeah.
Do that. That is a 14.
Excellent. Yes.
I think this is gonna be a corrosive curse. Which one? A poisonous curse. Yeah.
Excellent. So he believes you immediately.
As far as I know, no humans can be trusted in the temple. I'm sure there are ones that are aligned with us, but I wouldn't know which ones.
Betrayal is all you people know.
Fortunately, I was raised by wizards, so my morality is different than those of who are swayed by gold and power.
You have that stink about you. And you, looks at Alara,
eternal shame.
You seem almost scorpionish yourself. You have our deadliness and not a little of our blood.
Thank you.
He is very alarmed by this. You fired something in his imagination. And he says, oh, they want to take our god. They want to take that. Gestures over the sarcophagus. So, what do you suggest?
How well do you know those two humans? Do they seem trustworthy?
They're soft, fleshy.
Have they ever spoken against you or given you any reason to distrust them?
They don't know when to be quiet.
I see how you deal with people like that.
You think they're part of it?
I wouldn't know.
You think they've swayed any of my people? Scorpion people? How many here can I trust?
Gold is persuasive, and the city bears a lot of gold.
Scorpion people have no use for gold.
Many of the people in the cults are well off and have quite a bit of gold.
They may not like gold, but they may want the things that gold can buy.
Maybe we come from the sea. What'd you say? Sorry, what?
Scorpions living in the city are soft. I've noticed the ones, not to speak ill of the dead, but the ones that have interacted with those of the temple have, if I may, have the stink of humans upon them.
Wearing clothes, jewelry.
It's not my place to say, but
perfume. We should attack from the sea. They'll never expect that. Climb up the cliffs and through the seaward gate.
Certainly no one would expect that.
So he's in a very tenuous spot. Seems ready to rush off to the seaward gate. What are you trying to get him to do?
I don't know. I'm just trying to get them all riled up.
Well, he's definitely riled up. He seems ready to execute those two humans, if that's what you're after. But he definitely has a conspiratorial air with you two.
Mm-hmm.
And there's those 8 scorpions around you who are listening to this also. And there's some chittering among them. They are kind of seem unsure, but you've really got the Emperor's imagination fired up. I think I'm trying to figure out how to make that curse monstrous. Certainly one way is to say that they suddenly just all run out for the city now, but I don't think that is what we want to have happen. I think unless you decide otherwise, but okay, he says Clackic. This one scorpion comes up. We should do the ritual before the city. We should do the ritual now, tonight. And Kifrit can stride across the land, embed its stinger into the whole land. Bring in the desert. Bring the nighttime into day. And this scorpion looks terrified, looks absolutely abject, and wants to say, really, that's not a good idea, and obviously cannot, is paralyzed. They don't sweat, but trembling with fear.
He's seeping venom from his
his finger just single drop. Clackic motions to a couple of the others who go find these heavy wooden poles, and I want to say Clackic and 5 others ship these poles into the slots at the base of this sarcophagus and very laboriously heave it up. And it brushes against the roof beams, and nobody says a thing. And the Emperor munches distractedly on part of this dude he just killed. Oh, he killed one. So there's 7. There's not 8. So 5 scorpion people plus 1 of the 2 you were talking to earlier rushes over to take the spot. Heave it up. And the Emperor, you can see that they brought it through a hole in the back, but they're taking it toward the front entrance. And the Emperor gets up and goes over to the entrance you came through and just breaks it apart with his claws, and mud bricks go everywhere. And much to the alarm of the people outside, including those 2 humans who were very close to that doorway, and everybody scatters back, and the Emperor comes striding out, and behind him this sarcophagus. What do you do?
Mm.
Let's
Follow after the Emperor and see if we can get close.
Mm.
I think if you can take care of the Emperor, I have a terrible idea.
That's great, because Alara does not have a plan beyond take care of the Emperor.
Excellent.
Awesome. Awesome. I'm going to say you're going to have to position yourself fictionally somehow so that you can actually reach a vital point of the Emperor's. He's enormous. And while he is happy to keep you two close and not the other two humans, he's a bit hard to take out with one blow. So anything you can work out around that. He's a bit of a mountain of himself, you know? And yeah, he comes striding out. The sarcophagus comes after him. Scorpions immediately clear out in a circle. I think people mostly know not to get too close to the Emperor. And you all are so close. He smells dusty. He has these enormous prickly spines coming up all over. The segments of his body are kind of moved. You can see there's like softer places between these plates on this enormous scorpion back, and the stinger that's towering over you, and and the sort of plates on his back where his shoulder blades are rubbing together. And these people clear out. The two humans are looking at you, and one of them is mouthing, "What did you say?" The Emperor's like, "My people, we do the ritual tonight. Kifrit will scuttle across this land." And there's immediate chattering and chittering, and the people set down the sarcophagus heavily, and Klakik is moving through the crowds, and the others are moving through the crowds, just rallying people. Klakik is looking for something or someone, and one of the two humans comes up to you two and says, "Tonight, where will the bodies come from? How will they create a sacrifice big enough to?"
How devoted are you? How devoted are you to the cause?
One of them marks his final mood and says, "Not enough," and starts trying to get away, starts moving toward the exits.
I think
and the other one is just ashen.
I'll point at him and say, "Traitor, he's escaping. Stop him."
He's immediately restrained with these heavy chitinous hands clamping on his arms.
"I told you, Emperor, I told you."
He gets about halfway through the crowd and then is borne back on people's, like crowd surfing on these, helpless. And so the Emperor is like, "That's one. Just need 19 more, I think. I don't really do counting." And Klakik is, and Klakik, the others who are in there with Klakik are, they've got like a big rope, and they're literally roping people in, like bringing a crowd of people, of scorpion people, in with them, who are not cool with this at all. And the other human that you were talking to, just ashen, is like, I guess I'm too. And limply just steps forward and is immediately shoved forward, but it's still near you. And what do you do?
Is there any popcorn nearby?
Okay, all right. So they they build a fire, and uh they kill the first human over the fire.
Who's doing
The
the killing? Is it
oh,
like some priests, or is it the emperor, or
I think at first it's Klakik with a sword, and the person's blood doesn't douse the flames. Somehow um it makes the flames higher, and then they kill the second human, and then it starts this laborious process of killing scorpion people, but they're very strong and they're not happy with the situation. So after about the fourth death, the emperor just moves forward. The fire is built at the foot of this sarcophagus, and I think that there's like a yeah, so the golden disc over the scorpion's head on the sarcophagus, they take a gold hoop off of the outside of it, and they lay it on the around the fire, and part of it is and they've opened up another little slat in the foot of the sarcophagus, and they've got the one part of that circle inside that slit, and you can see a sort of dim light that's starting to grow. And after about the fourth death, the emperor lunges forward and says, "This is taking too long," and just starts snapping people's heads and throwing their torsos down into the fire. And you can see their blood is turning to gold, and the wood is turning to gold, and more of this. The fire itself seems more golden. The smoke, it has traces of gold in it, and so now the emperor is like, one after another, just one every 10 or 15 seconds, and they seem to be going for about 20. What do you do? Is this the moment you're looking for?
yeah, I think I'm gonna interrupt the emperor and ask if I could have the honor of making one of the sacrifices, of sacrificing one of the people.
He's starting to work himself up into a froth, so he keeps going a little bit before processing what you said, but then stops. Yes. Can you kill quick?
Yes, I certainly can.
All right. I want to see him going. Clock, clock, clock. All right.
Was there a sword that he was using previously that's
The
on
emperor wasn't
ground
using a
somewhere?
sword. He was just
Oh,
using his
oh,
claws. But
right.
but Klakik was using
Oh, right.
a sword.
Klakik's
Yeah.
a different one.
Klakik just hands you this sword.
All right, I will take that sword and try to go right by the emperor's head, neck region.
Okay. Yeah, you can
On
see
the
there's a
way
soft
to the
part between the plates. Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
And I'm gonna ask if I could have a blessing from the emperor before I do this to get even closer to before I do the holy work for our God.
Blessing? What kind of blessing? And sort of leans in, just the spittle here, and just already in a rage. Just
it's an
Klakik gives blessings. A hot breath.
Yes, but you too are a great emperor, and your role here in bringing Kifra to incarnate.
This is taking too
honor
long. Yes, you have my blessing. Do the thing. Death.
Am I close enough to
Yes, he's leaned
stab
over.
with the neck?
Yeah, you got his
Yep,
attention.
I am going to take that large sword I've been handed and aim for that weak point.
Excellent. Okay, yes, you do the move, and
That conversation.
and the yeah, the blue blood just and we're not going to dwell. There's no gore, but just blood. Just and this heavy body, this torso, kind of totters and just slides forward onto the sword. You can't get it free again, and it looks
That's
like
okay. I have my own sword.
it's true. Yes, it looks like he's gonna fall on top of you. You're sort of between him and the fire, and he's gonna fall on top of you and maybe into the fire. What do you do?
I want to get out of the way.
Okay, you're
and
letting go of the big sword.
Yeah, I'm letting go of the big sword and jumping back, maybe towards the sarcophagus if I can.
Oh, okay, sure. Yeah, he falls onto the fire, and you see his blue blood turns to gold, and is intensifying this fire, and the golden circle around the fire is starting to glow, and the scorpion people are all stunned for just a moment.
In that
And
moment,
yes,
could
in
I
that moment,
spell?
yes.
I would like to use 6 curses.
Let's try it out. See how that goes.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm just gonna pump it all the way up. That's a 32, which is enough to trigger the move that I got as an advancement, which is the demon.
Oh my god! Why did I write that? This is very interesting. It was always a possibility. I never thought you could just get a bunch of curses.
Try it out.
All right.
I'll take care of the doom and everything after.
Okay. Describe this demon.
So I think, like, as they're stunned, I jump up on top of the back of the emperor and like throw the mask back on and start doing my wizard shit. And I think it's going to be kind of so it's like a chaos demon, kind of like a mirror of what's their name, Rook, a little bit, kind of drawing from the essence of the of the dead scorpions and humans here, and kind of drawing it up into like this black sort of tornado, with, I think it has the blue and red glowing eyes in it.
Oh, nice.
And it's described as a single godlike entity from the misty realms of chaos, as potent as any pantheon god who does not want to be here.
But he will fulfill 3 of your requests to the letter.
Yeah.
With a few rules.
Yeah. So I have some requests. How does that respond to being summoned and the scorpions and all that?
So this thing made of blood and
Ash,
smoke and ashes, and fire, coalesces, looks confused at first, and then immediately you can see the light bulb going off, figuring out what's going on. Very unhappy, very angry, but focus snaps to you and says, let's get this over with.
Yes, let's.
What do you require?
Every scorpion man here reduced to ash.
They turn to ash and statues of themselves and dissolve. It just fall apart.
Nice. Are there any humans
But
or anything that are like?
sorry, what?
Are there any non-scorpion people like
No, they're
around?
dead.
Excellent.
Yeah, no, there's no humans here besides you two. I want to say though that there's a golden light building in the sarcophagus. So what do you ask for next?
Second request. I would like any humans in the city of Orid who conspire with the Scorpions to uh, uh, choke on their own bile in the next day.
Done.
And after they do the request, they will do what they want, generally causing as much havoc as possible. And I have to cast a spell again to banish them. So my last request is pointing out the sarcophagus, and say, one who is in opposition to you, Kifrit, will emerge from that casket momentarily, take it to the bottom of the ocean and sit on it for 1,000 years.
That I cannot do. I don't have dominion over the gods. They don't have dominion over me. The best I can do is try.
That's all I ask.
But none of this 1,000 years thing. I'm going to do what I can here, and then it's my time.
As you will.
And leans over with a shadowy, ashy hand, pulls off the lid of the sarcophagus. Gigantic golden light shoots out, and this scorpion climbs out and is radiant like the sun. It hurts to look at it. And they square off. And they're gonna like move back and forth, wrestle with each other, knock everything over, set things on fire.
My village.
Boring.
Sorry.
What are you two doing?
We should probably go.
Yeah.
Note to self: sorcerer is overpowered.
Yeah, like, or maybe just like a limit on curses.
A limit on curse dice. Yeah. Let's say, or make it really cost. But yeah. Anyway, time for that later.
Yeah. Let's GTFO and get back to the horses and.
Okay.
The
horse is freaking out. Aya is like raring to go. Wants to charge in there and fight everybody.
No, don't fight the gods.
And you can see them. They're like, the demon is like 30 feet tall and kind of coalescing and shifting, and this scorpion is easily has grown to be like 40 feet long, and it's a real Ray Harryhausen kind of moment. And they're bumping into trees that get set on fire, the grass gets set on fire, and there's sand coming in from the east, from the desert, and it's being whirled up into the whirlwind that's around this demon. And you two get out of there. And although it's nighttime, you can see this light in the north, which is coming from Kifrit. And the light slowly recedes. I think some people come out of the forest to try to follow you. Just a few, I don't know, a dozen. And they're not going to be able to keep up. Do you take them with you, or what do you do?
I'm gonna. I'll stop to talk to them and tell them the scorpion people are dead, but obviously the village is not safe yet.
Yeah.
And might not be for some time, depending.
Okay.
Woods.
Okay. Okay. They are totally freaked out and scared, but then their lives have already been turned upside down. So with a real instinct for self-preservation, they run back to the woods. As they leave, they're like, we need to make for the cliffs somehow. There's all these woods will be on fire by day, by morning. And all right, so you two can get back to the city. I'm not sure there's any rush really,
No,
except that
Yeah.
there's a
we'll
god
take
and a
at least
demon
a day.
fighting. As you come out to the city, come up on the city walls, where do you go? How do you get in?
So they are still opening the city gates for the Scorpions in 3 days, right? Or they
Assuming
have.
somebody has found Nullus and
Yeah.
talk to him. At which point your involvement will be exposed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he'll choke on his own bile in a day, so that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So you could get into the city through the caravanserai.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably best to lay low for a little bit.
Probably. We've caused some trouble.
Yeah. So all the conspirators are gonna die in a day. The
Unless Kifrit beats that guy up, so.
yeah, I don't really know what's gonna happen with that. I think well, roll a d6.
Yeah.
Roll 2d6. Roll as many dice as you want to. We'll
Let's
just
do
see how this goes. And
that's an 11 again.
oh boy. Okay.
11 on 2 dice.
Okay. Yeah. The next thing you know is this demon of smoke and ash coming toward the city, and there's general calamity because so many rich and wealthy members of the cult of Kifrit are dead at once somehow, including the priestess. And so there's general alarm going on, and then this smoky thing kind of hovers / lumbers toward the city, and is just tearing up the land and eating things and people. Is
I hear Thonus is nice this time of year.
Can't you banish it?
I could. I'd have to cast it again to banish it.
which you could.
I could.
Guess there's nothing
Another 6
stopping you
curses.
from doing that again.
All the curses.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, this game has gotten silly. Let's say the demon wanders off into the desert, and you don't know what's gonna.
Too happy with me.
Right. You don't know what's gonna come of it. You don't know what's gonna happen to the world now that this thing is out there, but it's out there. And a couple of people from the village make their way to the city, and I think you just, Alara, you see a couple of them just straggling down the main boulevard of the city toward the city square. But what do you do?
I will talk to them and see. Do I recognize them like from my childhood or just?
Yeah. I think you recognize them. I think there's an older couple that were parents of some friends of yours, and some younger people with them that there's probably one of them that you used to be playmates with back then, grown up now. And you don't recognize them at first because they're much changed, not least by what's happened in the last few days. And they, but yeah, you recognize them.
Yeah, so I'll greet them and
They're like, what happened? What the hell happened? That
but
the village is on fire. There's a giant dead scorpion in the middle of town.
yeah, they were trying to summon Kifrit and wanted to turn everything into desert.
That's really beyond me. I can't. I just. We need help. Can you help us? Can you help us?
Yeah, I'd love to help. What can I do?
There's hundreds of us back in the in the forest, well, in the cliffs now. We need a home. We need somebody to speak up for us. We need help from the city if you can get it. We need a place to stay. We can't just stay out there in the wilderness all this time. The boars are going to come for us.
We may know a guy.
So we need shelter.
How is the caravanserai feeling about us at this moment?
You want to influence the guy, I think.
Yeah, because I don't think we have a lot of people in the city that are otherwise happy with us.
No.
Temple might be empty.
Yeah.
I could move into some rich people homes.
Yeah.
Pretend to be one of them and have survived. And
real estate.
Yeah, you're in the middle of the boulevard of town, just because I think you were hanging back somewhere in the shadows, but these people are walking down there. So I think the city watch is alerted that you're there. So your immediate problem is not being arrested. These people are pariahs, outcasts. Nobody else in the city wants to get near them. And I think the sun is starting to go out because Kifrit's dead.
Happens every night, though, right?
This eclipse is moving across the sun. and the whole, everything's getting dim. The sounds of the birds and insects are getting weird. And so Alara, what do you do with these folks?
I think I'm going to encourage them to follow me to the caravanserai because at least the city guard is not there if we can get there in time. Okay.
Make a roll to get from there to the caravanserai safely for everybody, on behalf of everybody.
2d6.
Just 2d6 plus whatever dice you want to add. I don't think you have any glory dice. So we weren't doing the thing where you do role-playing moments to get glory dice. That's
yeah. All right. Yeah, so I'll roll 2d6. Unless I want to add a curse dice and get a doom move.
They're so good.
Oh man. I don't know if mine are quite as good. But yeah, I'll add a curse dice so I can get a doom move.
Okay.
Why does it add +1? All right, so 8.
8. Okay. So it was, oh, I see, 8. Yeah. So that's a partial success. So I think that you get back there safely, but the City Watch is I'll say you get back there safely. You've evaded the City Watch, but that the caravan guide is not happy to see you, and is alarmed at your appearance and at these people's appearance, and he's like, I don't what is this? I'm not here to take in refugees, wastrels, urchins. So you've got your work cut out for you to convince him to help you.
Look, man, we just killed Kifrit accidentally. Can you cut us a break?
That was you? That
I mean, we had help, but yeah.
No, we caused it.
I caused, yeah, we both.
Yeah, you caused.
It was a team, really.
I mean, I think I provided the final sacrifice.
Yeah.
She killed the Scorpion Man Emperor, so that was cool.
I'm sure it's better for your business to not have the city killed by Scorpion people.
Yeah, no more Scorpion Raiders, so you're welcome. Yeah, we killed all of them. All of them actually. There's no.
That's good, I guess, but there's no more sun, so you've kind of broken the world.
You know, a little good, little bad.
Okay. You know what? We've been going for a long time. Let's take a break.
Go give Kifrit CPR.
Let's take like a 10-minute break. I'll recover
Just
my
kill
composure.
some more people.
If we keep killing people, it'll work out eventually.
Right. That's sort of the sword's main tools. But yeah. Okay. All right. 10 minutes. I'll see you back here.
Cool.
And we'll work it out. All right. Thanks. There. Okay. Yes. We're talking about convincing the caravan guide to take them in.
Yeah.
But not, as you said, not happy about the whole sun situation.
All right. So I'll take a curse now that I'm back to no curses.
Right. Let me mark one of your doom for you there.
All right. So 10.
Okay, that's a partial success. I think that he is, let's see, partial success for influence. Okay, you should mark a mood. And he says, well, I'll put them up in my rooms, but I can't say it'll be for long. And I'll do my best, but I think you two should make yourselves scarce.
Yeah, it's probably wise, but
Probably right.
Thank you.
Alara, do you have like the Emperor's blood on you? Is that like you sort of he was sort of falling on top of you?
Yeah, if it hasn't been long, then yeah.
Maybe it mostly washes off.
All right.
Yeah, but where it doesn't wash off, just a little residue, it turns to gold. So you've got just traces of gold blood like on your arms. And
Right.
and Solon, I don't have mechanics for any of this, but Solon, I think that your body has to be changed somehow
Yeah.
by these curses.
Absolutely. Yeah, I've so I have 2 moods that turned into scars.
I saw that. Thanks for doing that. Yeah.
But yeah, I'm probably the mask is probably more than ornamental at this point.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, I think Alara, you need to change one of your moods to a scar so you can't mark it anymore. I think doing what Solon did is good too.
Yeah.
Just I don't have a handy way of doing it, but just make it clear which one you're not going to do anymore.
Yeah.
The yeah, I think Solon that your body is part of your body is kind of trained to smoke as well. That it kind of comes and goes like a mind that's drifting, only it's your body. You have to kind of concentrate to keep it solid enough to do stuff. I think so you two have this mark, each of you has a mark on you. And word is getting out around town that you're responsible for all this. It's utter night. It's just the fiery corona around the sun, and it's blue and eerie. The Temple of Kifrit is desolated. I think let's see who we have. The cultists of Elkun are running around in the streets with moon masks on and are overrunning the Temple of Kifrit. And there are a few cultists of Kifrit left, who didn't have anything to do with this. Actually, there's many didn't have anything to do with this intrigue, and they are without protection. Family members of the conspirators, whole households that actually had nothing to do with that, and just were raised in the sun cult. And I think that the moon cultists are taking this as their time to settle some old scores. But word is getting around that the sorcerer with the smoky body and the soldier warrior with traces of gold on her arms and hands have brought a huge curse on the city. Grave misfortune.
That's fair.
So the caravan guide is turning you out, and the rest of the city is giving you a wide berth. I think it's hard to tell what time it is, but the eclipse is not going away. What do you do? I think more refugees are coming in from the village.
Probably leave town.
Yeah. I feel like we should try to fix this situation, but I don't know how.
Do we go back and try and bring Kifrit back to life somehow?
I mean, in theory, Kifrit dies every night and comes back to life every morning.
I was hoping, but looks like it didn't take this time.
Maybe we need to find some priest of Kifrit who might know more about how that's supposed to work.
Well, one of the good ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea. Can we do that without getting murdered? Or driven out of town, more likely.
Yeah. Mm.
All right, let's do it.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, do we know any,
Yeah.
since like, the temple is overrun, and probably a lot of folks are, maybe some folks are in hiding in the caravan area there because it's kind of
Well, there's
a
several caravan areas on the outskirts,
oh
just outside the city
yeah,
walls.
yeah.
There could be some there. There could be somebody holed up, or some folks holed up in the temple. You know
Mhm.
for a fact that it's got these inner precincts and underground areas that
If we,
are hard to get to.
Mm.
do we know where the tunnel was supposed to come out? Because we could go in the tunnel.
Yeah, the tunnel looked like it was gonna come out north of the city, just outside the city walls.
Because then we wouldn't have to go past the city guard.
It's
Yeah,
true.
probably poke around and see if we can find something there. We can do that.
Okay, let's see what you've got. I
Tactical knowledge with
I think
that.
this is like tactical knowledge for Alara. Yeah.
All right. 2d6. Eight.
Okay, it's a partial success. Ask one
6.
question.
All right. Feel like safest way in is kind of what we're looking for.
Yeah. Yeah, you can see that the sort of rocky scrubland north of the city, and there is um there's a there's a little cairn with a little design of a scorpion painted on the stones, and you can find it next to it. There's a cave opening, and mostly obscured by scrub, but you know where to look, and yeah, you can get in. And it's long and it's dark, and eventually you come to a body of a scorpion person crushed by rocks.
I know that guy.
And I think, yeah, we'll just keep it there. So eventually you come to the opening into the underground rooms, and there are about 40 people huddled in there. Look terrified. Do not look happy to see you.
Hello,
There's
fellow followers of Kifrit.
I don't think that flies. I
Yeah,
I
I thought.
think a scribe from the temple comes up and says, "We know who you are, God killers."
Yeah, yeah. Sorry about that.
Hmm.
My bad. Um,
Sorry, huh? Okay,
But we want to fix
fine.
things. That's why we're here.
yeah, we were hoping he was going to come back to life in the morning, like always, but I guess I'm just really good at killing gods. So,
They say, "Wait here," and the scribe goes away. He comes back with a a, young man, looks like he's maybe 20, looks way in over his head. Says, I don't. I guess I'm the high priest now.
congratulations.
Thanks.
I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
it's very awful when your mentor dissolves into a cloud of dust right before your eyes. It's terrible. I hope you never have to go through that.
On the upside, we know that you're one of the good ones. So,
We have to bring Kifrit back to life.
yeah,
Yeah.
agree.
The world needs the sun.
Right now, Kifrit's body is stranded in the mortal world with without any burial rites or anything, Kifrit's body needs to go to the west, where it can go under the world and come back out in the east alive. Kifrit needs to go into the underworld.
And how is that supposed to happen?
I don't know.
Well,
I just got
High
here.
priest.
There were mysteries I was supposed to be taught, but nope. I
what are these funerary rites you mentioned?
I can do the basic funerary rites. I can do that part. I don't know how. Look, what does Kifrit look like?
Just a giant scorpion.
Oh, okay.
Golden,
Yeah.
bright scorpion.
Turns to the
That's
person
bright.
next to him and says, "Giant scorpion." Like, oh, we wonder.
Was there a debate?
He has different aspects.
At least he's incarnated as a scorpion right now because he was brought into the world by the scorpion people. So maybe if you all sacrificed a bunch of yourselves and murdered a bunch of people to bring Kifrit into the world, they'd look like you.
But
Oh,
don't.
no, enough have died. Really.
Yeah.
Maybe you all don't think so, but
recommend against that.
So we could try to get Kifrit's body onto a ship and sail it out to the west. We could try to, I don't know, find our way to the underworld carrying a giant scorpion body.
Are there any stories about people going to the underworld without, dying?
Yes.
Or with dying. That's, I mean.
Yes, there's.
But the dead don't take other bodies with them normally.
True, yeah.
Yeah. There was a story of a great poet who wanted to learn secrets from Kifrit in the night when Kifrit was dead, who went down to the underworld, found a way through caves that just went deeper and deeper, fought off some horrible creatures, and eventually just got low enough that they got to the cave of shades where all the dead are.
So slight problem with that plan. It's about 40 feet long. Probably pretty.
Yeah.
Pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Probably wouldn't fit in the caves.
Yeah.
I see. Well, we could carve out Kifrit's heart and bring that.
That might work. Do you know where these caves are supposed to be traditionally?
No, it's not something that we're supposed to really do, going to the underworld.
Yeah.
But you all seem capable. You ought to be able to figure that out.
Is there a name for the caves or the poet who went down there?
The poet was Hayad, and they learned many things and lived a long and prosperous life some hundreds of years ago. Died eventually, of course. So obviously you're people of tremendous power to have been able to break the world so horribly and destroy our temple, our whole cult. Surely you must know.
That was partly on them, to be honest. That was.
Surely you must know some I don't know, somebody, some way to find these things.
I
Friends
mean,
in high places.
yeah, my sister might know, but I haven't seen her in a long time. So,
What was your sister's deal?
she was the priest,
Oh yeah, of
Oh,
Rook.
the mystic, I think it was.
No. Uh let's see. You so you have I don't see the thing about your sister,
That
but
was um, who was playing that? Um,
oh, that was many episodes ago.
that was
Yeah.
a while ago.
Yeah. In the party tab, there's a question you answered that said that the priests of Rook have raised your slain enemies.
Oh,
And I don't know if that makes them. Oh, that's difficulties you face. But then Alara helped put them back in their place.
oh yeah,
The dead.
yeah.
Um,
oh yeah, Rook. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
hmm.
yeah. And I kind of summoned Rook's dark counterpart there, so Rook's probably not super happy with me either.
But Alara, you had a deal with Rook going.
Yeah, that's right.
Mm,
Did kill a lot of Scorpion guys, definitely more than a dozen.
yeah. Although more people are gonna die if the sun doesn't come back, so
Yeah, but they'll only die once. Like if the sun comes back, like we'll have a constant stream of birth and death. Like if we just kill everyone once, then Rook's out of business.
that is true.
Oh,
Without the cycle, Rook's one and done.
so let's tend to these questions a little bit. And we should be having some downtime, where
Yeah.
you all can heal each other a bit. Maybe we should do that before we get too far into this. Um, I think, Alara, you definitely have dived headlong into danger, so I think you should mark a glory die for that.
All right.
Chaos definitely did change me.
That's for sure. Yeah, so you get a glory die.
And I guess I did help others to see how strange the world is.
Yes, and Alara, you may have overreacted with violence just a bit. So that's so while you all figure out how to get to the underworld, you can clear some of these moods. Actually, Alara, you don't,
Yeah.
Solon, you don't have any moods
Yeah.
checked anymore, just scars. Alara, you have one, right? I was looking over at
Yep.
Max's character who hasn't. So, or I guess, yeah. Alara, you have one checked.
Yeah, I have one.
So you might be all right, actually. You could
Yeah.
clear that one if you want.
Mm,
The soothe move is there for that. So Solon, if you want to try to
Soothe. Yeah, I could do that.
be with the 2 heart dice that you have with Alara.
Go ahead and do some soothing for a change. That's a 9.
Okay, that is
Partial
yes.
success.
So yeah, Alara, you can clear one mood, or you can clear all those. Well, if you only have one
Yeah.
checked. So you don't have to clear your glory dice though. You still Solon. You,
Hmm.
you still got the glory dice. So what are you going to do? Alara, are you going to talk to Rook or
That might be our best plan.
how do you do that?
So, hmm.
Fortunately, you've more than lived up to the deal you had with Rook.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, I feel like it sounds like we probably also want to go back to the village because if we might need the heart.
Mhm.
Okay, sure,
And
yeah.
that feels like a great place to talk to Rook anyway.
Yeah.
Like,
Surrounded by death,
this is what
devastation.
I got. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I think, okay, yeah. So I'll get back to the village with Aya. Aya can take you out there and can bear both of you. And there is just a gigantic dead scorpion. It's not glowing anymore. It's just there, like in the middle of the village, smashing the community hall under its enormous bulk. And it's utter devastation. You can see these smoky outlines where they fought back and forth. And Kifrit's body has bled gold all over the village. The ground is sticky with gold. And so that is casting a weird glow in the light of the eclipse, in the very wan, ghostly light of the eclipse. And the giant scorpion body is the only organic thing you can see in view. What do you do?
Let's see. So I think I guess I want to beseech the forces.
Okay. Do you want to say that you've carved out the heart first, or because there isn't really a move for that? We can just say that you've done it.
I think I'll carve out the heart first.
I think that Solon, are you helping with that?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Okay, then you both get covered in gold.
Yeah.
This liquid gold that's just in the body, and you can get out this large, heavy scorpion heart that seems very organic, but obviously it's been pumping gold, so you've got a lot of gold everywhere, liquid gold, and so you've got this heart, and you're going to beseech the forces. I want this for you.
So that's 4, I think, because I have 4 death.
For death, yes. You roll 4 to 6-sided dice.
Oh, 8.
Okay. Partial success. So that let's see. Solon, do you want to help? Do you want to hearten that roll?
Yeah. I think I can do that.
Okay. You would reduce the number of dice you have in that relationship by 1 afterward.
Ooh, yeah. I mean,
We'll
that's
just have to go partying after.
yeah, that's fair. I think we can do that. Yeah, we probably bonded a little bit. Oh boy, 2 snake eyes. Snake eyes.
Okay. All right. Mark XP, Solon.
Yeah, too bad. And take that relationship down by 1.
Okay, so you get a partial success. Rook appears before you. Rook kind of, I think, materializes out of shadow, and this just shadowy being looms over you, very tall, maybe 9 feet tall, and says, "Ah, my treasured daughter." how much you have done for me in such a short time.
Yes, we have delivered many souls to you.
Yes, true to your word.
Unfortunately, as I'm sure you've noticed, things are out of balance now, and Kifrit has not returned from the dead. And
It's beautiful. I can't tell you how long I've waited for this day. Kifrit kept coming through my lands on a boat down my river, and I could never stop them, and now they're mine forever.
Where's this river?
Oh, well.
Are they though? Because they seem to be here, not in the underworld.
Well, it's true, they're much diminished. Their shade is with me. It's not, it's a little underwhelming. It's true. I had hoped for more glory, something to brighten up the halls for once, a sun in my rooms.
Perhaps their heart.
Oh, oh, I see. How could I have missed that? I'll just take that. And kind of, he reaches out a hand. May I? As if he's going to take it. What do you do?
I'm not sure Kifrit's going to come back if he just takes the heart, but I don't know. I look at Solon, see how Solon feels about this whole.
The priest
We're
seemed
both out of our depth here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did you bring the priest with you, or to do the funerary rites, or did you leave him behind?
Did the priest think that would be a good idea? If so, then yeah. Did the priest want to see Kefrit? Selling.
Like a roadside attraction.
Yeah.
The body of your god. Hey.
Pacific Rim kind of deal. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, sure. So the priest is there and is totally horrified, of course, in lamentations, ripping his garments over this death of his god.
And the god of the death.
And then right when Rook shows up, the priest is just paralyzed with terror and says, "No, don't give him the heart. Don't give him the heart.
Your time to shine, buddy."
No,
No. He's like, this is not my rodeo. This is not. I
think if you were to take the heart, then the sun would never return, and within 10 years or fewer, I mean, there's no food is going to grow. A few years, everything would be dead, and then no one would keep dying.
Right, they would all be dead. It would be. It would be everything I've ever wanted.
And then 10 years from now, no one will die because there will be no one. Think how many more humans you will have if everybody alive now has children and then they die and they have children and they die and on for the generations.
You can see math is not Rook's strong suit, but you've given him pause here. Like, oh, okay. I'm just so hungry all the time. Could I just swallow that heart? Just eat it.
I'm sure it would help you feel great now, but then you would be hungry in a decade when no one is dying
Forever.
Because everything needs the sun to live. And then you would have generations of even worse hunger.
What do you suggest? What is your proposal?
We seek passage to the underworld.
Oh. Interesting. Why?
Alara glances at the priest and the heart of Kifrit must be allowed to continue its daily journey so the sun can return, so the world can live and die for generations.
I'll tell you what, I'm not totally sold on this people continue to live proposal. We'll call it plan B. I will let you into the underworld, and you can try to send Kifrit's heart down the river to be born again thing. Or plan A, you die down there and I just eat everybody all at once. I think you have decent odds. I win either way, it sounds like. So yes, I will give you passage to the underworld and we'll just see what happens. And Rook throws up shadowy arms and the ground buckles and opens up, gigantic chasm in the middle of the village, rocks being thrown out, huge jagged crevasse down into the depths, and it's rocky and uneven enough that you might be able to pick your way down. And Rook says, for everything you've done for me, daughter, this highway for you, I will see you at home.
Thank you.
And Rook disappears like smoke down into the pit. And the priest of Kifrit is ashen, just sweating, terrified. This is the worst day of my life.
Not yet. I mean, yet up to this point, maybe. Who knows? Yeah. You got a long life ahead of you.
What do you do?
I think we're headed down, and the priest is coming with us so they can do the funerary rites.
Okay.
Probably wrap up the heart in some. No, there's probably not anything nearby.
Oh, you can find some tatters, sure. Yeah. Yeah. I think there's some funerary garments in the sarcophagus. Like the sarcophagus is still there.
Yeah.
It's like the only thing left. Looks made by human hands. And you can wrap it up in some linen from there.
Nice.
And the priest really doesn't want to come with you, but you can drag him along. Are you bringing Aya? Aya can certainly scale those cliffs with no problem.
Sure, yeah, I think we'll have an easier time with them.
Okay. Yeah, so you're able to pick your way down. Well, Aya is picking their way down, and it seems to go down for days. But you're getting tired, but you're not like you're hungry or need to sleep. It's a weird timeless space. And eventually you come to the bottom and there's no river. There's a there's a large sphinx there, gigantic lion body, these huge paws, and an ageless human face, although much larger than humans. Sphinx is maybe 10 feet tall, sitting down. And behind the Sphinx are these gigantic bronze doors. They're shut, that are cast with figures in various states of pain and wailing. And the cliffs let you down maybe 40 feet away from the Sphinx, who notices you and seems like was watching you come down those last few stories, and just shakes its head, says, "No, you need to go right back where you came from. This is not happening." What do you do?
This is Rook's favorite daughter, and we were told to meet them at back home. So take it up for the Rook, I guess.
And Alara, what do you do?
Yeah, I'm gonna look at the priest and see if he has any answers on what this Sphinx deal is.
After recovering himself a bit, he says, the Sphinx, the Sphinx is here to keep people out of the underworld. So trying to, I don't know why, but it's what they're there for. So
Yeah, but what's the story with the poet? How does he get past?
The poet sings a song so beautiful that it shames the Sphinx into silence. I suppose the Sphinx could be reasoned with, or you could try to fight it. Or sing a beautiful song. I'm not sure.
Solon, can you turn into an animal that can make a beautiful song?
Ooh, maybe that's a great idea.
Or that can fight the Sphinx.
Yeah, my voice is not great in this form, but yeah, I can try and cast a thing and see what happens. Yeah, let me take another curse. Throw another die on there. Just keep piling them on.
Piling them on, right? Yeah.
What are you gonna do? 1, 2, and a 5. And I think
That's a failure.
that is.
Oh no, I'm sorry. You're casting a spell. Yeah.
Oh, 1, 2, and a 5. That will add up to a 6. It's going to Phantasm, Illusion. Here's my Metamorphosis one. 2. Yeah, I could do the Psychic Command on the Sphinx and see if that works.
Okay.
Otherwise, bend them to your will. Yeah, what's a so drawing on that? What kind of curse do I want to take for that? Ooh. Already got the knife. Gosh, how about I'm gonna go with the prophecies of the Atlanteans still haunt me. Yeah, I mean, I would like to just have the Sphinx let us through. How am I gonna cloud his mind? I think. Yeah, I'm gonna take off my mask, and I think as a result of all the mess, it's not just my body that is smoke and everything, but like I take off my mask and it is, um, it just kind of like waves between like smoke and like rot and shadow, and it's just a mess. Um, and I think I just walk right up to like as close to the Sphinx's face I can do and say, this is the face of someone who does not fear death itself, much less one of its lapdogs. Let us through.
I think that it breathes some of you in, and it is stunned into silence and slinks off to the side and lies there. But mark 2 moods, because a piece of you is now in the Sphinx.
Yeah.
Is not coming back.
Let's see. Foolhardy sounds right there. And maybe shocked that it has actually breathed some of me in. Like, oh, that's not something I planned on. Oh, geez. Okay. Cool.
And the gates are still closed, but they're unguarded. Alara, what do you do?
I would like to open the gates. Can I use my monster strength to move them?
Yes, that's good.
So I mark 1 curse, and the GM will say what I destroy in the process.
Yes. I imagine you don't want to mark another curse.
No.
Okay.
I'm fine with some extra destruction.
You wrench, it's a double-doored gate, and you wrench one of these doors off its hinges. A tremendous sound of screeching metal, and it's the heaviest thing you've ever lifted, but your muscles bulge and throb and just comes off, and then it's like it weighs nothing and you're throwing it away, and it's just completely mangled. And the gates to the underworld are now permanently open, and the Sphinx is hiding its head like this, and the underworld stretches out before you. It's an enormous cave. There's shades moving around that have a faint luminescence to them, just immaterial souls of the dead, and there must be thousands of them. Several of them turn their heads. It's like nothing ever happens down in the underworld. They're very surprised, and they all turn their heads to look at this sound and at this strange new light source as the gates to the underworld are open. And several of them just surge toward you like an immaterial mass. And you can hear the whispering coming up, murmuring as they get closer. And then they're crowding around you and they're all jostling you, both of you. And just a susurrus whispers. You can't quite make out what they're saying, but they're very curious, and they're grabbing onto your arms, your cold stained arms, and dragging you in. And then there's some behind you, and they're pushing, and they seem to have enough substance to do this. There are some creatures of the underworld, figures of men and women with wings and giant bird feet and whips and swords, who come out trying to make some order out of the situation and are indignant to see you and say, you living souls, you've made a terrible mistake.
Yeah, multiple, yes.
And one of them flies down toward you, Alara, and brings out its whip and is threatening you with it. What do you do?
She's gonna draw her sword and yeah, she'll just attack it.
Okay, okay. All right. Roll.
All right.
You get 2d6 automatically, and then
Yep.
any of your glory dice you want to spend, and any curses you want to invoke. I will say it's flying, so it's going to have some advantage of height on you. So if you want to try to get up higher first or something like that, that would probably help.
All right, yeah, if it's not, since it's like taking a moment to attack me, because you said it was threatening me,
Threatening you, yeah.
maybe I'll roll tactical knowledge first to sort of
Okay.
get the lay of the land, see what all is down here other than shades. And I'll throw in
Okay.
a glory dice for that.
Sounds good.
9.
Okay, that's a partial success. Ask one question.
Um, uh, oh, we actually just want to keep going, but
You just want to, you mean get to the fight?
no, I was thinking like our goal isn't to fight these creatures, so I
Right.
might want to ask what's the safest way in because we want to keep going to the river. I think was our
Right.
destination. So yeah,
Okay.
I think that's the question I want to ask.
Okay. Yeah. There is a low grade down to a river, black and without waves, seemingly completely still. And there is a little dugout boat there with a guy in a cloak kind of sitting down in it with his hood over their head and seemingly napping or something. It's tied to the shore. They don't seem to have noticed all the hubbub. If you can press your way through these shades, which seem sometimes to have substance and sometimes not, you could get down there to the shore and maybe get away from this fury that way.
All right, yeah, I will gesture towards the boat and try to press onward.
Yeah, that's Krisha.
Is Aya coming with you?
Yes,
Okay.
that seems like she'll help with pressing through shades.
Okay.
She's big and scary.
Yeah. So
we don't have
yes.
the struggle with the environment move anymore, right?
No, it was so generic. I thought, well, we'll just, if it seems like a roll is needed, we'll just do a roll.
Cool.
But I think, yeah, so I think there's some pressure on you now because this fury is flying down close to you and they're snapping with their whip at the shades and the shades are starting to move away from you. I think, so there's a whole sequence going on here that we'll just role play with one roll, where you're trying to get down to the shore I guess, get this guy's attention, somehow push off and get away from the Fury. So you'll get +1 glory die to do all that. So make a roll, like we were saying, just a generic roll to try to get, I guess the goal being get away from the Fury.
Yeah. Ooh.
Wow.
That is not good.
And I can't really hearten anymore because I only have the 1 die, right?
In theory, yeah,
I guess I
that's
could
right.
add glory dice, right?
Well, hearten is just heart dice. Oh, you can always add curse dice though.
You can always add curse dice. Do you want a little heartening there?
It's not going well. I can narrate what would happen if you don't do it.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna.
Let's try. Yeah.
Yeah. Throw another curse on there. Why not? Boom. Cool. So heartening 1d6, 1d10. Has a 9 and there's a 15. You want that 9?
Yeah, sure. The 13.
Great. Monstrous success. That's fantastic. You've certainly turned it around. So it looks like the Fury is coming down with outstretched talons to grab you by the shoulders and doubtless lift you into the air, toss you against the rocks. But Aya snaps up and snaps at its its talons, gets it away, and I want to say you get down to the boat and the ferryman is jostled awake, and Aya comes down to the shore and can't fit in the boat. And the Fury, I think, in it being startled, has wheeled away and itself been knocked against the cave roof, the cave vault, and other Furies are coming out to circle around it to see what's going on. And the shades are all murmuring, and some are piling into the canoe with you, into the boat. And Aya is making these whining noises because she can't come with you. And the ferryman is jostled up and sees you stained in gold and with this giant bundle, and it's like, what is going on here? This is my nap time. So what do you do?
Nap time's over, buddy.
Do you have coins?
Have gold.
This ferry doesn't run for free. Gold will do. Where's the gold?
It's kind of in sticky powder form.
I need something I can hold on to. Do you have it in a bag? What is? You could try to influence one of you.
Alara, can I borrow a knife?
Sure. Here you go.
Guess this one. Take a gold covered pinky off. And I'm probably for that, I'm gonna guess.
Yeah, mark a mood. Wow.
Desperate
you just
one.
named yourself. Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe mark 2 moods, I think that's
Let's say what's a good one there?
my
I don't know any of those really fit. Maybe bewildered.
Okay.
Yeah.
The ferryman gladly takes it, puts it in looks at it, bites it like it's a coin, puts it in his pocket, says,
Will that do for all three of us?
yeah, that'll do. The third one being the priest.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, the priest does not want to be here. Yeah, it doesn't bleed. It just feels cold. It's weird. I think after he takes it, it still just looks like gold because it's covered in gold. But yeah, there's no bleeding or anything. Aya is moving down toward the water's edge, like they want to get in the water.
I
yeah.
tell Aya to wait for us, and if things get bad, head towards out the doors. I don't know what the waters are going to do to them. I don't think swimming is a good idea.
Okay, Aya really wants to follow you, but it sounds like you're really impressing on them not to. And the priest says, yes, to touch the water is death. None can return after touching the water. That's what they say anyway. That's what my priestess said before.
Well, I don't want to find out, and I don't want Aya to die.
I think so Aya backs away and waits on the bank. I think that there are all these shades in the boat with you, and one of them is the priestess of Kifrit. And it says, "You murderers, you defilers."
You're the murderer. You're gonna murder everyone in the city.
We just wanted to.
Yeah.
We just wanted to pressure in the desert.
You just wanted to turn the city into a desert.
Yeah.
That's all. For the glory of Kifrit.
Yeah, not cool. Not cool.
By the way, is over there on the bank, cold and lonely. What?
We're working on that. It's the heart.
And like she's trying to touch it, but her hand's just going right through it. And the young priest is like, "Oh, my lady, I am so sorry. I'm not with these people. I will try to make it right." And the priestess says, "Why don't you just stay down here with me forever? All of you. Just stay here."
Then Kifrit won't come back.
Let the heart go on its way. You stay here.
No, I'd rather keep living. It's more fun.
I already paid, and it's
right. The ferryman's like, all right. Come on. Where are we going? It's your charter. The river snakes on down through the caves. He gets out this big pole and he starts shoving off. And he says, What's the destination? What part of the underworld are you going to?
Alara looks at our pair of priests, or priest and shade of a priest, and says, where do we need to take this?
We need to go all the way through the underworld and come out in the land of mourning and we need to go under the entire world. We can't stop anywhere in the underworld.
Yeah, well, he said, let's do that.
Okay, there's a further toll as we go through the gates of the underworld.
Only got 9 fingers, man.
Okay, so what he does is he shoves off, and the shades, some of them peel away and wade through the water back to the shore. Some stick around. There's just a few there with you now. If there's any in particular that you want to be there, or maybe that you really don't want to be there, let me know. Like, I think your Alara, was it your sister who was killed by the raiders?
Older sibling.
Older sibling. Your sibling is there and beseeching you with eyes, just, and maybe at first can't even talk, like in words you can make out. It's just they're staring at you with and sort of putting their hands on you or around you and through you. It's very cold. It just chills you to the bone. Mark a mood.
I was shocked.
Okay.
I
And
think
yeah.
Alara also has a moment of thinking about what her older sibling would think of, like how her life has been since then and all the people she's killed, and that is not the life she would have had otherwise. And
yeah. I don't have a rule for this, but I think that you should take one of your heart dice and give it to the sibling, and it's going to stay down here with them.
all right.
Sal's not around anymore, so
Yeah, I'll just grab that one.
yeah. The ferryman takes you down this river, and as you go, you pass through gates, these just gigantic arches around the river, hovering over the river, holding the rock up. And each time you go through one, it feels like a little piece of you is being taken away. So there are, I'm going to say there are going to be 3 gates. And each time you go through one, you have to either mark a mood or mark a curse. I mean, it's the underworld. Maybe it should just be you mark doom.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Like,
I'll take that.
Yeah. Mark a mood or mark doom is for 3 times. And
what would happen if we marked a full column here?
You would be taken out. You'd be defeated. You'd be at the mercy of the underworld.
Okay, I'm not gonna do that then.
No. Or 5 total is also bad.
Right. Oh, I already have 5 total.
Oh, you do? Okay, well then mark more doom.
Does that include scars?
No, scars don't count.
Okay, cool. Then I'm at 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, so if I mark my 5th one, I mark a doom.
If you mark your 5th one, you'll be taken out and the Furies will get you. I think you want to mark doom instead.
Doom instead.
Mark the dooms. Doom, 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 doom.
And I mean, this is the last session.
Yeah.
But as you keep going, you see that this giant ghost of a giant scorpion is coming through the water after you, and drawn by the heart. And Alara, the shade of your sibling, just looks at you with pleading eyes and starts to talk, says, please, and then fades into nothingness and gets pulled back the way you came.
Yeah, she starts to say something and then just stares out the direction they went. And
yeah. Solon, you lost people, didn't you?
I don't know.
Maybe not. Maybe.
I've probably done people wrong that might want to talk to me down here, but I don't have any in
Yeah.
their mind.
I know what it is. It's ghosts of dead Atlanteans.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
Yeah.
definitely haunted.
They want you to stay. They
Mm-hmm.
they they say we could tell you everything. We and Alara, you could stay too. Your sibling would embrace you. Their arms might be warm again once you adjust the temperature down here.
Can I speak to the
yeah.
voices that are speaking to me?
Yeah,
You can tell me everything. Can you tell me how to leave after I stay?
that part it seeds our wisdom.
Yeah,
If we knew
so
that, we would come with you.
no deal.
Okay. All right. Um, I think though that they get inside your head a bit,
Mhm.
and that it's like you just constantly have these sort of love susurrus in your ears, and then suddenly there's light up ahead, and the 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 ferryman says last stop, and you come out into this golden sky, and there's it's like a rosy colored sky, and you come out of this cave and you're not below ground anymore, and there's just endless ocean in front of you, huge massive of ground, stone and earth behind you, and the ferryman pulls his hood low over his eyes and says, everybody out. And then Kifrit's heart doesn't weigh anything anymore, and it's just floating out of your hands. Floats up into the sky, and
And it's light, right?
it's light. Yeah, it lights up.
We really did it.
Whew, that was rough.
The ferryman says, "You're gonna have to get out here. I gotta go back. I got a job."
Cool.
He'll let you out
Uh,
on the ground. You can
Where
see
do we?
the black waters sort of diffuse into the ocean. Yeah,
Yeah, where? How do we get anywhere from here?
not my problem. He pieces out back
Right.
through the tunnel. Um, yeah, I actually don't know. I haven't written any of this, but maybe this is as good a place to end as any.
I could do one thing.
Yeah.
I have the patching reality.
Oh God, you do. Yeah. Doom moves. Okay.
I could mark a curse, which would get me another doom.
Mhm.
To let's see, discontent with the way things are, rewrite a small detail about the world. But maybe the detail is there's a ship there that we
Oh,
can hail down and they can take us back where we need to go.
okay. Yeah, totally. Yeah.
Cool.
There's a and I have to say what else changes that you didn't intend.
Yeah.
Um, okay, yeah, the ship's comes to your hail and says, "I do you know where we are? How did we get here? What is this place?"
It's better that you don't ask. Better that you forget this place.
Okay, I I guess we'll follow the shoreline, try to get back to waters we recognize. I This place is so strange.
Got that right.
It is.
And what, and the thing is, their ship is made of silver, and they are all made of bronze and brass. And they'll take you on, but it's not clear where they're going back to.
Yeah.
If they get a chance. Probably many miles to go between here and lands, you know.
The only one that cares about going back to Urid is their little buddy. So
right. You guys are pretty copacetic.
Welcome to the gang, kid.
Okay, that's good. Okay, yeah, I think that's good. I think then this strange crew will eventually get you back home.
But that is a tale for another time.
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you all so much. This went in such gonzo directions I never expected. I'm going to make a rule about you can't. Maybe 2 is the limit on curse dice. Maybe 1, really. 1 is a good simple rule.
Yeah,
Mark
then we
1
have to
curse die.
save up glory dice, or
Yeah.
get glory dice and use them for the demons and all that.
In the right, exactly. In the past, I've always been encouraging people to use more curse dice, but now I see there's a whiplash to that. Yeah. You two were amazing. That was great. It's not easy to carry a game session with just 2 of you. You know, it's not easy for 2 players to do. So I thought you were amazing. I think that the stuff you came up with was fantastic. Yes, the original intention of that demon thing was that you would have a ton of glory dice that you'd be spending on that.
Yeah.
But the mechanics have changed a lot since I wrote that. So yeah. No, good for you for doing it. Yeah.
I saw I'm like, I'm taking that advancement. I'm going to figure out how to do that. I think the 3 wishes is fun for like a genie type of thing, but maybe 1.
It should be 1 wish. Yeah. I've changed it already. Yeah. I've rewritten it to be 1 wish.
That feels like a lot.
Yeah. And it's not even a wish anymore. It's like he'll do it to the best of his ability.
Yeah.
And so definitely. Mary, I loved when you killed the Scorpion Emperor. I thought that was fantastic.
Yes.
It's so good.
And that conversation.
Yeah.
Good.
That move continues to pay dividends. Yeah.
Problem solver. It is a problem maker. It's great.
Yeah.
I think that the whole plan of we're going to get into the village and we're going to convince them that we're from the conspiracy, and then get to a place where Alara can kill somebody. I thought that was great. That really worked out well.
Not a plan, but it worked out.
So how did it go for you all? Any stars and wishes, and then of course design feedback if you have any.
I had a great time.
Good.
Breaking it was fun, but even without that was really cool. And the way you rolled with like, let's kill the sun. Okay, now what do we do? That was like super nice. And Alara had so many like great moments, both just kicking ass and like with your sister and everything with the mount Aya. All good stuff. Yeah, it was a great time all around. This one felt very like Clash of the Titans kind of level.
I wish I could do claymation and just like take a bunch of photos. Sorry, go ahead, Mary.
Yeah, I really liked this as an end for the whole thing, and it really upped the stakes and everything, and it was a lot of fun.
I'm glad. Good.
Yeah, this feels like if things were if I didn't break things as much, this feels like the culmination of like an 8 or 12 session, like cool, kill gods, go through the underworld, like that's a whole session there.
Yeah.
Right.
But
Right.
yeah,
Now the underworld's open.
yeah. No,
Also true. Yeah.
Walk out, I guess.
Yeah, like shades start climbing up the cliff of the crevasse and just start wandering the earth. Yeah, it's not a problem. It's fine.
You fucked that whole area all the way up. Sorry about your village. No, I held out.
We did not do a good job helping the village.
No, we did not.
No, not really. Yeah.
The
Yeah.
scorpions probably
There's
had the
no
better
scorpion people, but that's really all we accomplished. There's no village.
we had the short
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, they're all refugees now. And I don't know if your characters would ever get that gold off of them. I think that might be like a lifelong thing.
Yeah, I assumed it was like
Yeah.
stained.
Yeah. I think that when somebody maxes out on curses, that they have to pick one to become permanent, and then you write that down somewhere. Because the Doom currently doesn't have any flavor; it's just a box. So I think that one of them has to stick with you.
Yeah, and that
Yeah,
makes
that
it faster as you go along.
Yeah. And when you max out your XP track, maybe something similar for Glory. That at the risk of having more lists on these character sheets.
Yeah.
Cool. I mean, this is interesting because it was 6 sessions, but with a cast that sort of changed over time. Mark, you're the only one was
I guess
all the way from the beginning to the end. But Mary, I love Alara. I love that character. It was so
I had
good.
fun playing her.
Oh, I'm glad. Cool.
Yeah. Wish I would still like to see more kind of like tug of war with the debts and all that. Like playing more with moving those checks back and forth and see how they work.
Yeah, like every time you call on it, it should probably go down. Every time you besiege the forces.
Yeah, or like maybe if you've, I don't know. Yeah, I don't have any answers, but
yeah, well, I'll think about it. Yeah.
And I don't know. Is it possible for characters to end up with debts on any of the other tracks? Because right now each one has one, and
yeah, I know there needs to be a way to do that, and I think that there's some mechanics that I had in mind for the GM that I've never done, that have never come up, that I think I would want to put onto the players with that debt track, where as you raise or lower the fortunes of these different forces in the world, those numbers fluctuate. And I haven't figured out why that would work that way or how exactly it would work. But I think that that's where it become mechanically relevant, is in this debt tracks. So as you,
I would almost put a neutral one in the middle where your other 2 marks were, and then maybe move the 4 back to a 2 and have it be a kind of push your luck thing. So like when you roll, it moves closer to the 4, and then maybe something happens when you get over there.
Something you don't want to happen, maybe.
Or just like something extreme, like something that's good but also very bad. I don't know.
Yeah.
There's a lot of fun stuff that could happen there, depending on what you want to do with it.
Yeah, that if it gets higher than a 4, things get off the rails. I think also when it goes down to a 2, then it can cross over and become a 2 on the other side, so that it's an axis it's going along. Yeah, I'll work that out for next time. Thanks.
Yeah, so like if I'm maxed out at sorcery, like I'm not sure I have any incentive to call on the gods to make it go the other way.
Yeah, and maybe it should be more like that you can push it the other way by calling on the gods. So it's not how many dice you have to use, but it's more like how many, like you move it and then you use those dice.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'll mess with it. It's definitely not coming into play really, and I want it to more. So
yeah, and maybe like hook it more into some other moves or some other mechanic, like have some other triggers. I don't know.
Yeah, having to do with the forces of the world bearing down on you somehow.
Or some.
Say that again.
They're like the curses or dooms or something, or glory. I don't know. There's a lot of. I like that there's a lot of mechanical places to hook things into. I think maybe the one, like some of them, a lot of stuff feels like it might be a little bit isolated, and maybe just like making more connections between the different currencies and stuff might yield some interesting and totally broken results until.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, that's my next frontier, I think. Okay, cool. Thanks, you all.
Yeah.
It's earlier tonight, but I think that was a pretty big
I think we
conclusion.
need to
Yeah.
Are you all right with me posting this on the Gauntlet?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Oh, so epic. I
Yeah.
want other people to see this.
If you have more playtest versions or whatever, I'd be happy to play more to give
Okay.
more feedback. Or if you have a version
Yeah.
that you would like someone else to run to see how that works eventually, I'll be
Yeah.
for running it sometime.
Okay, thanks. Yeah, I think it's just about to where I could do that. I want to make the heart dice go up and down more and the glory dice, and I think it has to do with those questions that are sort of the core of each playbook. And so I want to write that out, and ideally that will do, like you said, like hook in the forces dice more, and if I can simplify the currencies, I will. And then yeah, I will. I'll make a version of this character keeper available, like public. That would be great.
Yeah, anytime.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah, and Mario's super fun playing with you as usual.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah, I'd be
likewise.
happy to play again, future version.
Okay, all right, awesome. All right, cool. Well, take care. I'll be all over the Gauntlet about this stuff. So
Awesome.
I'll let you guys know. Have a nice night.
Yep.
Bye.
Night.